What in the world? Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Sabbath class, the 28th of January, 2022. This morning we kind of had a little interruption, so I'm just gonna extend this over into a part two from this morning, which was I was dealing with ancient bloodlines and understanding the ancient bloodlines and where they ascended from, and then from that being able to rightly divide the events that's going to take place in the end times according to these bloodlines. Okay, so I'm gonna pick that back up. So I'm asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel. Hit the notification button if you can. And for those that don't know, there's a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah only. Tanakh is our forefathers' records, the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by our Savior and our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Okay, so I want to say shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening channel. And I want to welcome you to our evening Sabbath class. So with that being said, I want to do our moment of silence in our prayer, Sabbath evening prayer, and we're gonna do a psalms and then do a couple of current events and a little Q&A, and then we're gonna pick back up about where we got interrupted this morning. Okay, so with that, we're gonna do the moment of silence, which is for the regarding to our Redeemer and our Savior, the Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our deliverance from our lands, our captivity. Okay. So with that being said, O Lord, righteousness, uprightness belongs unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at the end of this Sabbath day, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David, Solomon, Samuel, Hezekiah did, that we walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For we know you possess the power to do so. We desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to read the Psalm. Okay? Okay, I'm going to read Psalm 91. It's God is a refuge and a fortress. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, and in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrows that fly by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh to thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Thou shalt bear thee up in thy hands. Thou shalt dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. So that was Psalm 91. Any comments on that? Anybody got anything on that? Psalm 91? Okay, so what I want to shine light on is I've been screaming this forever and a day, that the Lord of hosts, our Redeemer, is the angel. It's none other than Michael, the archangel. When the scripture is rightly divided and you in the presence of somebody that Most High dealing with, know what they're talking about. So it says, 91 says, start at verse 1. He that dwelleth in a secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of Almighty. I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, and my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the nooses of pestilence. He shall cover. Now here you go, right here. I mean, you can do what you want to do with it. He says, He shall cover thee with His feathers. Yahweh ain't got no feathers. And we know these. We know He created 7 angels in the very beginning. The first one He created was Michael, the archangel, right? So it says, He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. So let's go one more place to complement that right there. Psalms 91. You go to Proverbs 80. Right quick. Proverbs 80. 8. Proverbs 8. My bad. So Proverbs 8 says right here. We just saw right here. We said that, you think it's some kind of proverb or adjective when he says under my wings and feathers. So it says right here, verse 25, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as yet he had not made the heavens, Yahweh had not made the heavens, nor the fields, nor the highest parts of the dust of the dirt. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. Those 2 beings, right? He said, when the Lord of hosts, when Creator prepared the heavens, I was there. When He set the compass upon the face of the earth, when He established the clouds above, when He strengthened the fountains of the deep, when He gave the sea its decree that the water shall not pass His commandment, when He appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by Him. 2 different beings. See that? I was by Him when He did all this, as one brought up with Him, and I was daily His delight, rejoicing always before Him. So let's look at that. Go back to Genesis chapter 1. We're going to see who that is. See if it's an angel indeed. So Genesis chapter 1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep, the waters. So spirit is what? An angel. Angels are ministering spirits. So we see right here is the Spirit with Him in the beginning. It's Yahweh in the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that's what the person over in Proverbs is telling you. When he did this right here in verse 1, he said, I was there with Him. And then verse 2 confirmed that. And the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. They both of them right there. So we telling you in the beginning, I was there. I was with Him. And every time He did something, I was flipping and jumping and flipping around and rejoicing. Same way David did when he brought the ark into Jerusalem. So yeah. And like I said before, it's high time that we start reading these scriptures the way they're supposed to be read. Okay. Give me 1 minute. The page is falling out of here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so with that being said, I got a couple of current events, and we're gonna do a little Q&A if anybody have anything, and then we're going into the class. So let me okay, what's up, bro? This is Sabbath. Shalom, family. Miss all y'all, and I'm still in the building. All praises. Oh yeah, shalom, bro. I'm glad to hear from you. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to do these couple of current event. Okay, the first one was, I kind of brought it up a little bit the other day, but it says they got a new documentary out right now on Cosby, Bill Cosby. So it says right here, new documentary exposes America's complicated relationship with Bill Cosby. See that? So obviously America got a problem with Bill Cosby. So let's look at it.
Bill Cosby was convicted of sexual assault and given a 3 to 10 year prison sentence. Last year, that conviction was overturned by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which ruled that prosecutors had improperly used an earlier deposition by Cosby in which he admitted to drugging women. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court said he had done so in a civil lawsuit with an agreement that he would not face criminal charges. Now, a new documentary series looks at Cosby, the allegations against him, and his role as a major figure in American cultural history. Jeffrey Brown has a story for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
We thought we knew Cosby. We never knew Cosby.
We need to talk about Cosby. It's the name of the new 4-part documentary series that premiered recently at Sundance and begins this weekend on Showtime. For director W. Kamau Bell, the title expresses the urgency and importance of the subject.
For me, it's like he was a transformative cultural icon. There's very few people on the planet who've ever gotten more famous than Bill Cosby. So he was a big figure, so I think we can ask some big questions.
Does it make you uncomfortable that I'm black?
As a stand-up comedian and host of the CNN series United Shades of America, Bell is used to addressing race and other big issues in his work.
Bill Cosby had been one of my heroes. I'm a black man, stand-up comic, born in the 70s. But this? The accusation coming in. This was complicated.
In the new series, it's also personal. For a 48-year-old who grew up watching Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, and then the Cosby Show.
I was born into a world where Bill Cosby was a part of the wallpaper of Black America.
You say this, you're a child of Cosby.
That's the way I put it. Because I was like, how do you describe that relationship? When I watched the Cosby Show, I felt like I was right there in there with the family. And then to stand-up comedian, was inspiration to try to do good in my career because I saw him doing good in his career, philanthropy, and he's an example. I was just confused as everybody else when all these stories came out.
And we need to talk about Cosby. Bell gets people to do just that. Try to make sense of Cosby's game-changing place in American popular culture as comedian, actor, educator, philanthropist, role model. But all set against, at every point, the horrific acts detailed here. He interviews people who knew or worked with Cosby, other comedians, sociologists, and writers on popular culture, experts on sexual violence.
Anyone the story?
Never told anybody.
And at length to women who tell their stories of betrayal and violation, with chilling similarity, often involving being unknowingly drugged.
when I first started looking into this, I didn't know nearly enough about this, and I think that's another thing we're trying to do is show people like you may think you know the story, even if you're a supporter of him or you're somebody who is supportive of survivors, you may think you know the story, but there's probably a lot you don't know. I didn't realize they went back so far into almost the early days to not the first beginning of his career, but like very early in his career that these allegations went back that
Over
far.
time, some 60 women have come forward. Bill Cosby only ever faced one criminal trial that led to the 2018 conviction that was later overturned. Cosby has consistently publicly denied all accusations. And this week, a spokesman denounced Bell's documentary, saying in part, "Let's talk about Bill Cosby. Mr. Cosby has spent more than 50 years standing with the excluded, made it possible for some to be included, standing with the disenfranchised. Mr. Cosby vehemently denies all allegations waged against him. He wants our nation to be what it proclaims itself to be, a democracy." There are people, of course, who still support him, who still believe him. You have no doubts.
I have no doubts, and I'm hearing from those people on all my social media platforms.
What do you say to them?
I think I'm engaging with it and talking to them through this project. I feel like a lot of people who are going to hate this will never watch it, which I understand. But I feel like if you watch it, you'll see that I think there's a worry that I'm destroying his legacy, and I think this is the only way you can actually approach the legacy of his good work. If you have the whole conversation.
The reality is he needed to go to prison. He's a criminal. But was I at home cheering? No, I was like, this is one of the worst. This is just a sad day in the history of Black culture.
Bell makes clear this is an especially fraught conversation in the Black community. On the one hand, Cosby, known as America's dad, was beloved.
America's dad, not Black America's dad, but America's dad. But Black people always knew we've been down for this guy since before the Cosby Show, so he's still ours. White people can enjoy it, but this is for Black people. And the fact the show was aspirational. It didn't reflect the average Black family, but as I say in the doc, I don't care. It was aspirational, so you felt like it was sort of like helping you believe in a life that you might be able to get to.
But Cosby also became a divisive figure beginning in 2004 when he began to speak out critically of what he saw as irresponsible behavior, including language, clothing, and a prevalence of single-parent families, in what many took as a moralizing tone. All of this, Bell says, plus the history of racist, false accusations against Black men, played into the story.
The whole thing is like this is a third rail conversation, maybe for every American who grew up with Bill Cosby in their life, but for Black people, it's like we keep adding more electrifying rails to the conversation, because it's just there's also the thing about not wanting to tear down any Black person in public and not airing dirty laundry, and even not why don't I do this on a Black network, or these things, the questions of like where it is appropriate. So it's a complicated, divisive conversation on its best day.
There's also a larger indictment here of a society that Bell sees as too often complicit in violence against women.
We have to be able to learn something from this situation. And like I said, it's bigger than Cosby. We need to create a country where survivors of sexual assault and rape not only feel like they can speak up, but they want to speak up because they know they live in a society that is supportive and will help heal them and help them seek justice.
The very first question in this is, who is Bill Cosby now? You're asking others.
Mm-hmm.
What's your answer?
The answer that makes the most sense to me is one that Karen Mayo gives at the end. She was the ex-editor-in-chief of Ebony magazine. And there's something to the effect of Bill Cosby could be key in understanding America. And so,
Okay. Any comments on that? What do you think about it?
Why didn't all of that come out when he went to trial the first time? Why are they waiting to bring something up again?
Yeah, well, that's just the Most High already told us what was going to happen to us when we got here. The way these people was going to handle us. I mean, I keep bringing up the movie Amistad. If you remember Amistad, remember when they went through that court, all that court stuff, and then the judge decided that they had been maltreated and mistreated, and that they can go back. And that he wanted them, gave them everything they needed to go back. And then the guy come back and say they got to go to the Supreme Court. They had another court to go to, and he was like, "What you mean?" He said, "We just went to trial." And then he started talking about woulda, coulda, and shoulda, and then the language that those Africans spoke, wasn't no such thing. Wasn't no such thing as a word woulda or shoulda and all that. And he was like, "What you talking about? Ain't no such words." So they end up having to go to the Supreme Court to another. They had to get retried for the same thing again. And that's our dilemma here. We constantly getting, the justice system ain't on how to do with us. So a prime example of that is this right here. Which one is more important? Critical race theory, bringing that up in the school system, making sure that the kids get the whole deal, or what the hell Bill Cosby done? So you allowing the Bill Cosby documentary to come out all over television and everywhere, but you suppressing critical race theory. You suppressing that without what they done.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a prime example right there. Boxing
And
that
they're
out.
doing that because they're wanting it again to make it seem as though we are such bad people.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, you believe it or not, it's so many people out there that don't get that. And like I say, you can track it. Like I said before, if you got somebody, like they say, Uncle Tom or whatever, love white folks, then he gonna love Jesus. He gonna love the New Testament. It all go hand in hand. That's why I keep on saying, going back, telling you, it's DNA. That's what the Most High talking about. Like I said, the flood was all about DNA. It came to the point where they had destroyed all the Most High's creation when it came to Adam's descendants. It was always left with Shem and Noah. He had to act. And so he brought the flood, and he kept Noah to keep descendants from Adam alive. And he tells you Noah was perfect in his generation. Why is he saying that? Noah wasn't tainted. He had his DNA and his genetics. It wasn't tainted with these fallen angels and what they had done. And they offshoots and they descendants. He wasn't tainted. So that's why the flood had to come. He had to cut the flood out. He had to bring the flood to cut them out from totally wiping out Adam's descendants, the man he had formed on the 8th day. That's what that was all about. Ain't that something?
Yes, and did you all catch what she said? When she said, I wanted him to go to jail, but I was not cheering because I was like, this is going to be devastating to the Black culture.
Right.
Like, girl, please. Yeah.
Right. Like I said before, it ain't nothing new. We seen that all over and over again. What happened to him and what happened to even with Marvin Gaye, and then what they did to R. Kelly. That ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? We already expecting that. So yeah. Let me go to this other video. I mean, this one more I got. Let me get it. Okay. So this right here, prime example. Like I say, it'll go through over people's head. They look right at it, but they ain't gonna deal with it. So can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at what's going on.
The name Manasseh, or children of Manasseh, arrived in Israel.
This is the tribe of Manasseh. And like I said before, what they ain't registering is that they come getting off the plane. This was Thursday or Friday, whatever, Wednesday or Thursday, a month ago or so ago. They getting off the plane in Israel. And they saying these is the tribe of Manasseh.
Earlier this month, they traced their ancestry back to one of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, the tribe of Manasseh. At the airport, Israel's Immigration Absorption Minister, herself an immigrant from Ethiopia,
got all the wealth in the world. They got all the wealth from like I said, from the deceptions that they've been doing for the last 3,000 years. So they faked Isaiah 660, where the Most High said that they was gonna come back the ships of Tarsus is going to bring them back. They played all that out in 1948. They had the ships and all that. Bible prophecy. They played it out and got the people thinking that's the real Israel. So now that was a lie. Now look here. They're bringing these people over there saying they're the tribe of Manasseh. So ain't no limit to the lie. Ain't no limit to the lie. Huh?
I said that's a joke. Wow.
Yeah, but look how many people believe it. And so they sold millions and millions and trillions of dollars going over there every year to these people. They think they're the real people of God. So like I said before, now you got people that go into the scriptures and pick out a couple of words out of there and then take off with it. Look at what they're doing right here. Like I said, they faked and threw off Antioch Epiphanes. He the Antichrist. He already came. They didn't flip the scriptures around where they got you thinking the Antichrist coming. I'm showing you he already came. So like I said before, who brought out 400-year prophecy? Who brought that out? America. The same people. They're the ones came out with the bill 19 or whatever it was, 1242, the bill about the 400 years. They escalated that. They the ones said the 1619 was a 400 year, and they started bringing about all these different events that transpired after they put the bill out. Like I said before, the prophecy is, Joshua tells you the Israelites was looking at what was going on with them in Egypt, and they referred it back to Genesis 15. It's right there in Joshua. They was looking at the time, and Ephraim came out early according to the prophecy of Abraham of old. That's what Joshua tells you. So who talking to us? Like I said, Hosea. Hosea came back from Babylon. Him and the other minor prophets, Haggai, Zechariah, they came back. They the ones prophesying. And Haggai said, 2 days. He didn't cast us off after 2 days. In the third day, let me read it. They constantly giving us these fake ass prophecies, and we going for it. So, but you know, like I say, when you're in the midst of trying to establish and lay a foundation, some things you just gotta let ride until you get to a certain point. You gotta come on with it. So, I'm in Hosea. Let's look at it. See, Hosea. And then, so like I said, what you do is you let this permeate. Hosea chapter 6, he says, "Come, let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn. He will heal us. He hath smitten. He will bind us up after 2 days. 1,000 years is 1 day with the Lord. After 2 days, he will revive us. In the third day, that's what we at right now. In the third day, he will revive us. The third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, latter and the former rain until the earth." See that? So that's the prophecy we dealing with. Like I said, they the ones behind all this whole thing, all this uptick and all this stuff, with everything that's going on. Just like they imitated it in 1948. They got a hidden agenda, like I said, the Road and Belt Initiative. The big reset they're talking about is tied to the Road and Belt Initiative. They got to collapse the system they got in play to bring about the Road and Belt Initiative, which is over where Africa is. Right now, they having all the materials, which is Most High, when he created the earth, all the materials is in Africa. That's why Africa is the way it is. So they killing 2 birds with 1 stone. They just went in and consuming Africa, and they sitting on top of the minerals. They ain't got to go run over there and get them and fly off into the Congo and get them on planes and fly out. They going right there, and they building this new system right on top of where all the materials at. And that's what we witnessing. They collapsing this system. They collapsing this system. They're heading over there, which is what I'm gonna show you in a minute, when tied to end times, and it's already been told us. Okay, so I'm gonna let this play out right here. It's only 3 minutes. Then we'll go into something else. So see this right here?
Welcome them.
These ain't no Israelites, man.
We'll continue working to unite all the families and to make them
No
feel at home
Israelites.
here. There are
Same
always
way
challenges,
we
and
do.
we'll do whatever we can to help and integrate you the same
Talking
way
about
we
the
were
Israelites was
integrated.
over here. Ain't no
The
Israelites.
B'nai
They
Menashe
wasn't
were
over
brought
here.
to
They was brought
Israel
over
by
here.
Shavei
Look at
Israel,
that.
a nonprofit organization dedicated to finding lost tribes
How in the hell them
and
Israelites?
bringing them as immigrants to Israel.
Throughout their sojourn in
And look who
exile,
behind it. Like I
the
said,
B'nai
look who
Menashe
talking.
continued to practice a biblical form of Judaism. They kept the Sabbath, they kept kosher, they celebrated the festivals, they observed the laws of family purity, and they also nourished a yearning to return to the land of Israel.
During more than 10 years, Shavei Israel has brought 5,000 B'nai Menashe to Israel, with another 6,500 still waiting in India to emigrate.
Okay.
While they keep kosher and observe the Sabbath, they are not recognized as Jews by the Israeli rabbinic establishment. They must officially convert to Israel after they
What's the
arrive.
difference in them and the Hawaiians? What's the difference in them and the Samoans? You know, so they're gonna,
Exactly.
they're gonna feel us. They're gonna feel a certain type of way. But we didn't call hell for, like you said, 2,000 years, going on 2,500 years. It's time to get on with the truth. It's time to come out with whatever it is. It ain't about getting no likes. Getting no views. It's time to come out with the truth. We at the end. It's time to come out with it. You eat it. You eat it and take it down, or you do something with it. It's on you. He says, those who have ears to hear, let them hear, and those who have eyes to see, let them see. It's 2 baskets and feeds. Huh? Okay. So anyway.
And remarry in an Orthodox Jewish ceremony. One of these B'nai
I've got the
Menashe
whole
couples.
world picking up they ideologies, they concepts. He told you that they was going to change laws, which is prophecies, change the laws, the times, which is our prophecies, and we flip them all around. That's what they done. So, any comments on that?
It's obvious now, it's too late for them to try. I mean, it's too many people waking up, and it's only one group of people that fit the prophecy. So I don't know how they can justify that it's them. They can't.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, there's no difference in this than what I keep on screaming about Ham, Shem, and Japhet. I was Japhet blunt. Look at the Japhet. That's the Europeans. How the hell is Japhet Noah's son? Then they want to say that the original Japhet was black folks. Well, how they get the blue eyes? How they get the blonde hair? You can't go from a Negro to blonde hair and blue eyes. That's how they started. That's just like the giant. You get the giant because the angel went into the woman. And so we go to Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy chapter 2. He tell you it's giants, tribes all over the land of Canaan. They can't be ascended from an angelic being, but start out small. They ascended from the giants, and so from the angels they tall. We can't go in reverse. So what if blonde hair and blue eyes is? Then the red hair and the green hair, all that bull crap. Where that come from? That's Japhet, like he telling you in Genesis chapter 10. These are the eyes of the Gentiles. That's who they are. And so they not Noah's son. Point blank. Yeah.
It was something you were reading one day, and it was, I can't remember if it was the book of Adam and Eve or I don't remember where it was at. I should have wrote it down, but you were talking about how Abraham and they were taught by not Noah, but Enoch.
Melchizedek.
Yeah, Melchizedek. Yeah, we were talking about that, and we were reading, and they only were talking about Shem. They didn't say anything about the other sons. They only in that passage they were only talking about Shem. So if he had, I don't know, it just occurred to me that they didn't even talk about, the other sons,
Right, right.
So,
And even when Abraham was born in the book of Joshua, and Nimrod was trying to kill him, and at 10 years old, it says he went to Eber, Shem, and Noah and lived with them. You don't say nothing about nobody else.
right. That's exactly right.
Okay. And so then in Genesis chapter 15, that was Shem that came out to deal with Abraham. Abraham already knowed it. He the one that taught Abraham everything he knew. That's what I'm saying about the knowledge of the Most High. The knowledge of the Most High, it ain't that you know it all. He done prepared you. He said that all the children of men came to Enoch, and Enoch gave them everything they wanted, every answer they had, he gave it to them, because he been dealing with these angels, and he been dealing with the Most High. They prepared him. Simple as that. That's how it works. It ain't that you know it all. You kind of line it out. You just line it out, and it ain't just start 3 days ago. It's been since 1999, 98. That's how they work. So with that being said, like I was saying before, we see that there's a host right there with that. It's one host after another. Those people is not Israelites. They bring it over there. They brought those, like I said, Ethiopians. When Sennacherib, if I'm saying his name right, the king of Syria, came there, he took out all the Israelites, took them to Syria, and he brought in other nations and placed them in the cities of the 10 tribes. Ethiopia was one of those people. They was over there about 1,000 years or 800 years. So we see on the plain, Esau bringing Ethiopian Jews over there to Israel. And you got to look at that. Who concocted all that? Because all of it is a lie. So what makes you think they didn't concoct the 400-year prophecy? Yeah, they did. They concocted that. Now everything you just going on with it because they're going to a certain place with it. They got a hidden agenda behind it. So anyway, with that being said, I was gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions, comments, and then I'm gonna go into the class. We had some computer malfunction this morning. It cut off the conversation, so I'm just gonna pick it up where I left off at, and just say part 2, and then you can just watch one and then watch the other one to make the dots. Okay, no comments. Okay, so my point is this. Like I said before, when you understand what's really going on, the Most High, they got you thinking esoteric and metaphors and all that, how the Most High talk. And he ain't talking in no metaphors. Like I said, in Genesis and Ezekiel 37, there ain't no damn metaphor. He told you, I'm gonna bring their bodies back. The soul, he tells you, Moses was gathered to his fathers, Joseph, all of them was gathered to their father. Where their fathers at? Most I told you, the book of Enoch tells you, he was showed to him chambers in heaven. That spirit came, that spirit is the soul that's in each one of those men came from heaven. So when the body died, the soul goes back to where it came from, gathered to wherever their fathers is at. So what he gonna do in Ezekiel 37? He's gonna resurrect their bodies. Same body that you can identify that was flesh and bone that was on him before he left. When he come back, he's gonna put that same body, just gonna be like the angels. That's what he's telling you. He said, can these bones live? So he redo all them bodies like they was, and they all laying there. Then he tell the 4 angels, Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, that's the 4 winds, go and breathe upon them. So they bring all of them back. They come back in their bodies. Then they stand up on their feet, just like Adam did. It tells you Adam laid there, but was no breath in him. He put the spirit in him, the soul in him. Adam stood up on his feet, but he just did that times 100,000 with all our forefathers. Then he tell you this is exceedingly great army. So when you read it in the other way, you're fumbling with it. Okay, so we're gonna so reason why I'm doing this right here this morning and the night is it's an ancient bloodline that's concocted the New Testament. It's an ancient bloodline of people, and like I said, the Most High tried to wipe them out. He told Saul, kill all the Amalekites. Don't leave none of them alive. Kill all the animals and everything. Saul didn't do that. Saul allowed Agag, the king, to live, and they left out a part of the story because they want you to think these Amalekites, these wicked ass Amalekites, because that's who they are. They crossbreed. They chopped all up with fallen angels, giant, and Esau. Esau wicked as hell. These are people these are when you say aristocrats or intelligentsia, Illuminati, Zionists. That's who that is. That's where they ascended from, right here. So Saul allowed Agag to live, but Agag had his wife with him, and she was with child. And so that night, Agag's wife left, pregnant, and she got caught. It's a system that was always in place. Joseph got caught in it. The caravan came and got him. Judah saved his life by selling him to the caravan. They took him into Egypt. Well, same thing with Agag's wife. She left that night before Saul came in and killed Agag. She left and she got caught in one of those caravans and took her to Babylon. That's who Haman is. And so they continued on. And then when Agag, Agag was discovered by the Artaxerxes and Esther, then he put the decree, he turned the decree from killing all the Israelites to killing all the Amalekites and all the Edomites. They fled to Greece, right? So then, lo and behold, let's look at it. They fled to Greece. Let me read it right quick because it's right in your face, but we just fumbling with it. Right here. I mean, First Maccabees. This is why this book ain't in there. It came to pass after Alexander of Macedon, son of Philip, had came from the land of Chechnya. See, that's where they fled to. They fled to Greece. When they killed Agag, and then he put a decree out to kill all the people, just like the Most High put the decree out to kill all the Amalekites. They fled, and they ended up in Greece. So now they are already pissed off because of the blessings that Jacob had got during the time of Esau and Jacob. Now they twice pissed off. Now because now they got twisted up again in Babylon, had to flee to Greece. So they really ticked off. So what you're looking at is Alexandria is out of this lineage I'm telling you about, that ascended from the angels that ascended through the Horites, which is Edomites. And because of that, they feel like they got a right to rule. They're above everybody else on the planet. They ascended from these fallen angels. Like I was telling you, with Cassius, you know, when they make these movies, they ain't for you, because you don't know, the average person don't know what the hell going on. So, but Cassius told Julius Caesar in the bathhouse, you sitting around there fumbling around like you don't know what's going on. Me and you ascended from the gods. We ascended from the gods. It's a certain way you're supposed to act. That's what he was telling them. And so they got a pass. You know, they can kill 400-500 people and there ain't nothing gonna happen to them because they above the humans. Humans ain't nothing but lunch meat to them. They can care less. That's how they think. That's why you seen all the atrocities on the transatlantic slave trade that happen, and people can't find them there. It's because they subhumans, and they come from a different origin than we came from. And they can care less. It's about them confiscating all the wealth and living comfortable, regardless of whatever happens. They're gonna make that happen. That's what we're witnessing right now. They setting the stage, like I say, they call it a reset, but there ain't nothing new. They brought about a war during the time of Great Britain and brought America on the scene, and America emerged as the new world ruler. And now it's time for America to go. They bringing China on the scene. But it's a race of people that's behind the scenes. They didn't hoodwink history books, hoodwink the Bible, everything, and they hiding behind that. And it's these people right here. Like I said, this connection with the Edomites at Mount Seir is where these 13 families they talk about that rule the world. They tied to Herod. You got a lot of guys, people say Herod, but you got to go all the way back to where Herod's lineage came from. It's these aristocrats. Like I said, the Piso family, which are the ones that concocted the New Testament, that the brother was explaining to us on the video. They the ones behind all this. They the ones tied to the end times. And if you don't know them, and you don't understand their origins and follow the information, then you can't deal with the end times. You know, I can't remember or not if I read this, but I'm gonna read it again anyway, and put it in here. It's with all I just said, which is what I'm in line with what the Most High talking about. So you say, well, what you talking about? I mean, let me get it. Oh, Malachi. Yeah, I had brain freeze for a minute. Okay, Malachi. So with that understanding, everything I just said, so the Most High says, let me get this right. Okay. In Malachi chapter 1 says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, says the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein have thou loved us? Was not Esau? See that? That's why Esau keep coming up, because of what I'm telling you. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. See that? So we know Gabriel, Michael, looking on this book. And the Most High, he already know. He says there's a leaf that fall to the ground. He don't know nothing about it. So they already know who these people is, how wicked they are. So Jacob he loved, Esau he hate, right? Why do he hate? He loved Jacob is judgment. He set Jacob up to do judgment, and the Most High loved judgment. But Esau's a robber. He's robbing everything. He robbed the Israelites in Obadiah. So the Most High hate robbery. So go to the monetary system, usury. Esau went head over heels with usury. The Most High hates usury. The whole banking system, this whole a monetary system they got in place is based off of what Esau done. And it's the opposite of what the Most High expect for you to do. So like I said before, it's a particular race of people that have been hid in the scriptures. And I went there, and I go there again to show you that right here. In Genesis chapter 36, descendants of Esau. Like I was saying, Alexandria showed up in Macedonia and Greece because they was ran out of Babylon because of the wicked ass stuff that Haman was doing. But what they don't tell you is Genesis 36 and 11. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zephno. Zephno the one that ended up in Greece. And Zephno had Philip. Zephno a giant. Zephno slept with Zephno had Philip. Philip had Alexandria. So these Edomites, they ruling over these Greeks, but they Edomites. Same thing here. When America's conception, in the beginning, the 13 colonies, it was Edomites. Christopher Columbus was an Edomite. They ain't happenstance. These the same people right here. This ancient ass bloodline that the Most High told Saul to kill off. And don't leave nothing. And Saul messed it up. Okay? So like I said before, they say 13 royal families the Oppenheimers and the Wurzburgs, all them, they all ascended from these Edomites. They running the world. And they the ones bringing about all this stuff that's coming down the pipe. They bring it about. So anyway, I was in Malachi, and it says, Moses says that in 3, I hate Esau, and I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Then 4, but look at what Esau says. Edom, these same people I'm showing you. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And thus says the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. See that? So where they at? When this conversation going on, where they at? They done stole the land of Israel. They in Israel. And the Most High said, I'm going to kick you, because of what you done, I'm going to kick you out. That happened in 70 AD. But they told him, we're going to come back. You kick us out, but we're going to return. So from that time they kicked them out in 70 AD, they behind the scenes. Like I said, these aristocratic families, behind the scenes, working their jelly, they the ones brought about World War I. Right? And then from that, they get into World War II, they made this Balfour Agreement or whatever, and next thing you know, they got the land of Israel back. They're behind the scenes working their jelly. And then they concocted this return, the ships of Tarsus and all that in 1948. And that's what the world riding off of. So like I said before, that ain't nothing, you know. So when I tell you that they concocted a 400-year prophecy, then you need to sit up and think about it. And they concocted all this. They concocted the Antichrist. Got you thinking the Antichrist is coming when the Antichrist already came. Everything we looking at, they done concocted it. That's how they rolling. That's how they staying afloat. And got all the money flowing toward them. Yeah. So anyway, anybody got a comment so far? This the part of the conversation that I guess it was a gremlin got in the line this morning. It twisted up the communication. So I'm just finishing off what we started this morning. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Comments before I go forward? So what I did, on this part where I'm gonna close it out at, but it was we're gonna go to Ezra. Let me get the right book. Yeah, Ezra. So now I'm in Ezra, and I was telling you about that 4 beasts, right? It was explained to Daniel one way, but he came and went more in depth with Ezra. And we're gonna see if it don't line up. So I'm in 2nd Ezra. Okay. Let me get it. Okay, yeah, I'm in 2nd Ezra, and I'm gonna read part of the dream, and then I'm gonna go into I'm gonna read some of the interpretation, because like I said, you're gonna have a dream, the angel gonna come, enter into you, give you the dream, then he's gonna come back, and the Israelites understood that they wait, because he's gonna come and appear to them, then they're gonna give them the meaning of the dream. Then it comes to pass. If it don't happen in that process, it's a dead calendar line. So I'm in 2nd Ezra chapter 11. It says, so I slept that night and the following one, as he had commanded me. And it came to pass on the 2nd night that I had a dream. And behold, there came up out of the sea an eagle, right? 12, see that? They tell you over there in Daniel is 10 kings. He said 12 feathers covered wings, 3 heads. And I looked, and behold, he spread his wings over the whole earth. See that? And all the winds of heaven blew upon him, and the clouds gathered about him. And I looked, and out of his wings grew additional wings, and they became small dwarf wings. But his heads were resting. The middle head was greater than the other 2 heads. We're going to deal with that in a minute. So it's 3 heads. The middle head greater than the other 2. But it was resting like them. And I looked, and behold, the eagle flew So it's this head in the middle, this greater head, this aristocratic family I'm telling you about. This Illuminati people, this lineage of people that's been always following down through, that sucked up all the wealth of the world, then hoarded it up. They got it. So it says, to the point where they got a gold wagon, the whole wagon, the wheels and everything gold. Okay, so it says, and I looked, and behold, the eagle flew with his wings and reigned over the earth and over those who lived on it. And I saw that everything under heaven, see, not part of it, but everything under heaven was subject to him. All right, and no one opposed him, nor any creature that was on the earth. And I looked, and behold, the eagle rose upon his talons and uttered his voice to his wings, saying, "Do not all watch at once, sleep each." See, this is what I'm telling you. Do not all watch at once, sleep each in his own place. See, that's in succession. There's not no 10 men coming together at one time and give a power to the Antichrist. This, what he's showing you right here, is one of these kings gonna come, then he's gonna jump to another king, jump. This 10 is gonna do this, it's gonna happen 10 times. We're already looking at it. We saw where America came out of Great Britain. Then Great Britain failed, then America rose. Now we're looking at it again with Charlemagne. Before that, before the Britain ruled, Charlemagne ruled. The king, he a king. He got a kingdom. The British Empire followed him. And so who was behind it? The same family I'm showing you. They the ones brought Napoleon on the scene. Then Napoleon rebelled against them. Then they mustered up all their army and shut Napoleon down. They brought Hitler on the scene to do all the dirt he did. Then they brought all the rest of the armies together because they can do that and shut Hitler down. The same people right here, like I told you, I'm showing you. Okay? So anyway, he says, do not all watch at once, sleep each in his own place, and watch by turn, but let the heads be rested for the last. And I looked, and behold, the voice did not come from his heads, but from the midst of the body. And I counted his additional wings, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side, one wing rose, and it rained over the earth. And it came to pass after it had rained, that it came to an end. See that? We didn't witness that, right, in history. And it disappeared, so that even the place where it had been could not be seen. Then the second arose and reigned, and it ruled a long time. This Augustus, 4th beast. We deal with the 4th beast. Augustus Caesar came after Julius Caesar. He was the second one that reigned. So it says, let me get it. The second arose, and it ruled a long time. And it came to pass after he had reigned, that it also came to an end, so that it disappeared like the first. And behold, a voice was heard saying to it, "Listen, you who have ruled the earth so long, I make this proclamation to you before you begin to disappear. No one after you will rule as long as you have, even half as long. Ain't nobody ruled like Augustus ruled." Then the third wing raised itself up and ruled like the former ones, and it also disappeared. And so it fell. See that? So it fell to all the wings one by one. They ain't coming together as no 10 toes. So he said, one by one, to be emperors. See that? The Babylonians didn't have no emperors. The Medes and Persians didn't have no emperors. It was only the 4 beasts had emperors. Right? And then to disappear again. And I looked, and behold, in due time, the additional wings on the right-hand side raised themselves up in order to be emperor. And there were some of them whom succeeded, but immediately disappeared, and some of them raised themselves up, but did not remain emperor. And afterwards, I looked, and behold, the 12 wings, here we go. The 12 wings and the 2 little wings disappeared, and nothing was left of the eagle's body but the 3 heads, and they were resting, and 6 little wings. And I looked, and behold, the 6 little wings, from the 6 little wings, 2 separated and stayed under the heads as on the right side, but 4 stayed in their place. And I looked, and behold, these 4 additional wings planned to raise themselves up to be emperors. And I looked, and behold, one raised itself up and immediately disappeared in a second, and it disappeared more quickly than the first. And I looked, and behold, 2 were left. Come on. That's where we at. Ain't this where we at? Ain't this what we dealing with? Russia and China? So who is this head that's resting? These Illuminati. These people, the intelligentsia, these Edomites I told you about. This aristocratic family with Pizos, the ones that created the New Testament. They've been behind the scenes manipulating everything. They're resting for the end. They want to rule the world from Jerusalem for 1,000 years. Zionists. Okay? So it says, okay, let me get that. So it says, and I looked, and behold, two were left, and also planted rain. But while they were planting, look at this, while they were planting it, behold, one of the resting heads that was in the middle awoke, and it was greater than the other 2 heads. And I saw how the 2 heads were united with it, and behold, the head turned with ones that were with it, and it ate up the additional wings, which playing the rain. Moreover, this head made itself master of the whole earth. That's what these Edomites, that's what the plan they got. Right there. What his name? Can't think of the man's name, the general, the Confederate general, Albert Pike, part of his plan, dogmas, or whatever it is, dogmas and angels and dogma, whatever it is. But anyway, so that's the plan. The thing about it, we're looking right at it. There's two people on right now, Russia and China, trying to rule the world. They're in a position to rule the world. But it says that it's a head gonna wake up. It's a head that's sleeping. It's gonna wake up. Huh? We're looking right at it. So let me, okay, you on? Okay, so now that was the dream he was having. You can read all that on your own. That's chapter 11. Now I'm gonna read some of the parts where he comes and giving him an understanding of the meaning of it. He says, "This is the meaning of this vision that you have seen. As for the eagle that you saw rising from the sea, it is the 4th kingdom." He ain't fumbling with it. That appeared in the vision to your brother Daniel, but it was not explained to him as I now explain to you, or have explained it. Behold, the days are coming when a kingdom will arise on the earth, and it will be more terrible than all the kingdoms that were for it. Moreover, 12 kings. See that? He's saying 12 kings will reign over it, one after another. See that? Not coming together all at the same time, but one after another. But the second, who is the reign, will reign longer than the 12. This is the meaning of the 12 wings that you saw. And as for you hearing a voice that spake and came from his head, but not from the head, but from the middle of the body, this is the meaning. In the midst of time, the kingdom, no small struggle will arise, and it shall be in danger of falling, but it shall not fall, but it will reign in its former glory. I told you that story. That's when this got sacked Rome. And then Constantine came and brought it back. He one of the kings. He brought it back with the Christianity, with these Pizzo family I'm telling you about. They concocted Christianity, and they made Christianity the Roman Empire's religion. And that's what we're dealing with right now, with what Constantine and the Council still set up. So it says, let's say, it says, for 8 kings will rise in it, whose time will be short, and whose years will be fleeing, and 2 of them, see that? 2 of them will fall when the middle of it time draws near, but 4 will be preserved for the time when the time is at the end. It's at right now, begins to approach. But 2 will be kept until the end. We're looking at them. Like I said, 2 will be kept to the end. And as for you seeing the 3 heads resting, this is the meaning. In the last days, that's where we at. The Most High will raise up 3 kings, and they will renew many things in it, and will distress the earth and those who live in it with greater oppression than all who were before them. This is why they are called the eagle's head. For it is they that will bring his wickedness to a head and will bring him to an end. And as for you seeing the greater head disappear, one of them will die in his bed, but in torment. But as for the 2 who remain left, the sword will devour them. For the sword of one of them will devour the one who was with him, but he too will fall by the sword in the last days. And as for you seeing 2 additional wings crossing over to the head of the right side, this is the meaning. And these, it is these that the Most High has kept for the eagle's end. For their reign was short, full of turbulence. That's what we're looking at, as you saw. As for the lion that you saw rouse from and roar out of the forest and speaking to the eagle and rebuking him for his wickedness and his words that you have heard, he is the anointed one, David. And the Most High has kept until the it says, whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will spring from the posterity of David and will talk to them. He will charge them with their ungodliness and rebuke them for their wickedness and reproach them to their faces with their transgressions. For first he will set them alive before his judgment seat, and when he has rebuked them, he will destroy them. And by my people who remain, he will mercifully set free, who remain in the borders, and he will make them glad until the end comes. So let's look at this. Like I said before, we know what happened in Ezekiel. He raised all our forefathers up. He tell us exceedingly great army, and he got David over there, right? So let's go to Joel and see if it don't play out just like it says in Joel in 2nd Ezra. So I'm in chapter 3, and it says, chapter 3 is judgment of the nations. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I will bring again the captivity of Judah and Benjamin. So that's the end time, reserved for the end. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. What that said. So in Israel, they ain't over here. And I will plead with them there. See that? That's what he just told me. The lion came out of the forest and spoke to the eagle. And he said it was his anointed one. Here goes this David. Like I said, David standing right there, just like when Moses struck the rock. And the water came out. The Lord was there, but the people ain't seen him. But Moses saw him, and Moses didn't acknowledge him. And he struck the rock, and it made it look like he done it. But the Lord was right there, same right here. His mouthpiece is David. And he pleading with them. Let's look at it. It says, and I will plead with them there in Jehoshaphat, not in America. I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots. It's back in Obadiah for my people. And they have given a boy for a harlot, sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return my recompense upon your own head, because you have my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far. See that? Far from their borders. So we're killing all kind of birds with one stone. So he said he's removing them far from their borders. They're not in captivity in their homeland. They was taken away from their homeland. Matter of fact, he put far in there. They was taken far from their homelands. So the captivity that the Israelites in right now, they far from their homeland. They ain't on their homeland. Okay? And then he says, 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. So like I said before, if the objective here on Prophets of Awakening is to connect the dots. It ain't to get monetized or to get no views. It's to bring forth the truth, whether it's 1 or 2 people or whatever. But it's to bring forth the truth. We didn't have 400 years of being over in America, fumbling with these Baptist pastors and everybody else trying to appease them. It's hammer time. Okay. So with that being said, I was gonna see if anybody had any comments or questions about anything before we go off here. You know, I had to fix that little situation from this morning. Any comments?
No, that what you ended on this morning before you had the technical difficulties.
Right.
The page that was on the screen was like perfect. Did I screenshot
Yeah,
it? But what it was saying,
yeah,
like what you're
right,
talking about, what
right,
they did, and what they
right,
continue to do, it was
right,
like stuck right on that page, and I was like,
right,
you know,
right.
they were,
Yeah, I gotta start do something else with that because it's those are other people's stuff and I didn't want to just linger on that like that because that's how they come back backdoor you with that.
yeah. But I mean, if you commentating on it, because I see a lot of people reviewing different shows and they'll
Right,
show little clips. As long as you pause and talk and use it as a, you're not playing it straight through. You're talking and analyzing it or discussing it.
right,
They show pretty much whole show as long as they pause. But just that page, even if you just had a
right, exactly,
screenshot of that, that would be, yeah, that
right,
was
right.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah, that's why I was like, it was crazy because of the way it went, the way that happened. I was like, that didn't make it's that was nothing but a wickedness. That's all that was.
Yeah, right.
But it's all good. Yeah, so I was gonna say shalom to Mike. I'm glad you peep back in, check us out, and yeah, it's all good. So everybody good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, let me hit this. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna say shalom to everybody. I'm gonna see I see everybody on Tuesday for the advanced Bible class on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Okay.